Hi, this is Simon Chan. Welcome to MLM Recruiting Mastery System. Module 5, we're at the Foolproof Follow Up. You're going to learn how to follow up with your prospects better so you can increase your enrollments. Now let's talk about the importance of follow-up. Number one, you have to understand the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, the fortune is in the follow-up. This is so true. And we'll talk about why. Because most prospects will not join in the first exposure. So knowing that is going to help you because first of all, you're not going to be disappointed, right? And remember, as we covered before, the whole goal of when you invite someone is let them know that you're in business. Let them know. Sell the trailer, right? Don't be the movie. Let them know about it. And most people won't join. They will not buy. But you have to let them know. But that doesn't mean they won't join. They will join later on. They will buy your products. And that's why follow-up is so important. Now, they've done stats from the National Sales Executive Association where they've done studies where only 2% of sales are made on the first contact. Okay, 2%. 3% are done on the second contact. 5% on the third contact. 10% on the fourth contact. But 80% are from the 5th to 12th contact. Okay, and this is done after analyzing thousands of sales from all type of transactions. So I'm going to repeat that. 80% of sales are done after the 5th follow-up. The sad thing is, unfortunately, over 50% of people quit after the second closing attempt. So they follow up once or twice, and a prospect, whether they don't pick up the phone call, or they don't call back, or they're not interested, they just quit. Right? This alone should motivate you to stay in the business. As long as you don't quit, you stay in the business, stay in the game. Sooner or later, someone is going to either buy the product, join the business, or give you a referral. And follow-up is a critical component of the 5 core daily production activities we'll talk about in a second. Now, here's an important thing about the follow-up, okay? Always end an interaction on a positive note. Now, this is something that's helped me not only grow a $1 million MLM business, but also help me grow MLM Nation, grow 3 online brands. Okay, you've heard it. Relationships are everything, right? So you never want to end on a bad note. You always want every interaction with someone end on a positive note. So whether they join, whether they don't buy, don't do anything, you still always want to end on a positive note. And I quote a term like good closure. You know, when I think of closure, I think of like a lot of times when I first started dating, right? Maybe you broke up with your girlfriend, boyfriend, but you know those awkward relationships where you kind of have to avoid each other, don't want to see that person ever again? That's called bad closure. Good closure means you end a relationship on a good note and you can still be friends. Like the person's not going to hate you or have bad sentiments against you, right? Bad feelings. So always strive for your relationships to end on a good closure. Why? Because this will set you up for future follow-ups. And I'm going to repeat this many times throughout the course. Remember, there's never a bad prospect, just the wrong time for the right prospect. And that's why you got to have good closure. So you never burn your list. Your list should be ever expanding. You should never have people that you don't want to talk to you anymore. Okay, if you do that, yes, you can still be successful, but it's going to be way so much harder. Because again, follow-up is going to eventually let you to new customers, new enrollments later down the road. And also, even if they don't join or don't buy, they will give you referrals. So I'm going to review really quickly the 5 core daily production activities. You ever wonder what you should do every day? So these are the 5 things. If you want to be successful in network marketing, you must every day, okay, not 1 or 2 days, every day you must, number 1, build your list. You got to do marketing, adding new friends to your list, right? Number 2 is you have to invite new prospects. Number 3, you have to follow up with old prospects. Number 4, you got to do self-development. And number 5, you got to talk to and communicate with your team. You must do these things every single day. And for us, right now, for this module, we're going to talk about following up. Okay, you have to do that every single day. So how many follow-ups a day? How many should you be doing? This is what I call 5-5-3. Okay, 5-5-3. The first 5, you're going to talk to 5 new prospects a day. That's your invite. Right, you can invite. We covered that before. Second 5 is you can do 5 follow-ups a day. 3 is going to do 3 presentations a day. And The key is don't worry about the signups. Just talk to people. So question is, how many follow-ups should you do a day? At least 5 a day. And by the way, if you're inviting every day, the follow-ups will easily fill up your schedule and make you super productive. If you think hard 553, it's hard to hit those numbers. If you're talking to 5 new people, the follow-ups will immediately happen. Okay, it'll be very simple for you to do that. Now, who do you follow up with? So you're going to make 5 follow-up calls. Who do you follow up with? You follow up with everyone. Okay, it sounds obvious, but you follow up with, number 1, interested prospects you presented to. You follow up with prospects who are not interested. You can follow up with customers who purchase every month. You also can follow up with customers who stop purchasing. Because remember, there's never a bad prospect, just the wrong time for the right prospect. So if you keep these 4 in mind, interested prospects, old prospects who are not interested, current customers who purchase every month, or customers who stop purchasing, you can easily follow up with 5 people every day. Now, here's something important that was a game changer for me once I understood this. That your business gets easier every 6 months. Why? Number 1, you're going to be more experienced. If you're prospecting every day, you're naturally be more experienced, more confident 6 months from now. Number 2 is your bad prospects will become good prospects sooner or later. Write this down. Just memorize this. There's never a bad prospect, just the wrong time for the right prospect. Why? Because people switch jobs every 2 years. So I'll give you an example of what that means. So say you have a friend that got a raise, right? Got a 5%. I don't know if even they give those type of raises, but maybe got 5% raise. Do you think that person's happy with the job? Or maybe got a promotion, right? Pretty happy. It's a good prospect. Probably not. But say 6 months later, the reason he got that 5%, he realized he has to work 25% more. He's got to work longer hours. He's going home later. He may even have to put in some work during the weekends. Now, do you think that prospect is a better prospect? Absolutely. So just say by a year from now, he's miserable at his job. Do you think this prospect's a even better prospect now? Absolutely. Right? And if you know that most people nowadays, how often do they switch jobs? You know, staying at 30, 40 years at a job, even 10 years at a job is a rarity. Most people don't do that. People switch jobs every 2 to 3 years. But think about this. When they switch jobs 2 to 3 years, when do they even start thinking about switching jobs? Way before that, right? They don't actually start thinking jobs at the 2-year mark. They start thinking that way before that. And those are the best prospects. Okay? And here's the thing, your prospects, the best prospects are ones in transition. Those are the prospects. So again, your prospect loves his job, but now all of a sudden hates his job. That's a great prospect, right? Prospect in transition, someone who recently got married. Now they need more income because they need to buy a house. That's a good prospect. Or someone who moved into a new neighborhood. They want to meet new friends. That's a good prospect. Well, someone just had a baby. They used to be happy at their job, but now they have a baby. They can't spend much time with their kids. Now, again, that's a prospect in transition. Those are the best ones to follow up. So you got to create the expectation for the follow-up, right? So when you present to a prospect, here's the key. Let them know that you will be following up with them to help answer the questions. Remember we talked about that? When you watch this presentation, you're going to have some questions, so write them down, and then I'm going to call you back to help answer your questions, right? This lets them know that you will be in the business long term. And then ask for the follow-up. Always ask for a specific time. Always ask for a specific time to follow up. Because number 1, remember, successful people, they're always busy and always in a hurry, right? We covered that in the mindset, how to have posture and confidence, right? So ask for a specific time. You never want to create the impression, you can call me anytime, I'll pick up the phone. Because why? Because successful people are not like that. The prospect will immediately know that you're not successful. So remember, set a specific time. And there's never a bad prospect, just the wrong time for the right prospect. Now, so when you set a specific time, whether it's 2 days from now or 6 months from now, always set the time, right? And one of the easiest ways to say it is, so when's a good time for us to get in contact again? And if they don't have a specific time, you insist on a specific time. So why? Number 1, not only will they respect you more, you're successful, you have posture, but they don't waste their time, right? Because you never want to play voicemail tag, texting back and forth. And you can simply say, just so that we don't waste time playing voicemail tag or just messaging back and forth, can we decide on a specific day and time that we can talk again? Okay, so that's an easy way. Ask them, hey, I don't want to waste your time and my time texting back and forth, voicemail tag. Can we set a specific time where we can talk again? So for prospects who are not interested, you can ask for referrals. Number one, step one, ask for referrals. Would you know of anyone that would benefit from this business opportunity or from these products? And number two, set the specific time. Simply by asking them, can I contact you in 6 months from now so that we can talk about this again? All right? Now, next is your tools. Let's talk about tools. You have to get your tools back. And when I say tools, I mean a magazine, a third-party tool, a DVD, even though not many people use DVDs nowadays. But whatever tool, a book, okay, you got to get your tools back. Because you have to understand, something that's no deadline, no urgency, has no value. You have to create that urgency and get your tools. It's like a magazine, book, DVD, you got to get it back. And so you set a specific day for you to get your tools back. Explain that you're low in supplies and you have a lot of prospects in the next few days. You can even give the name of future prospects. So for example, if I'm giving you a magazine, hey, when can you look at this magazine? I got a couple of meetings lined up. I got Mary, Joe, John. We're running low on these supplies. People are very excited about the business. When can you look at this magazine so I can get it back? Right? Next thing is you want to call the night before to confirm you're getting the tools back. So just say I set a specific time. Say today, as I'm doing this training, it's Saturday, right? And I say, when can you look at this magazine? And the person says, this weekend. So I need it back on Monday. Okay, I need it back on Monday because I have a lot of prospects coming on. Because you got to create that urgency. Okay, remember, the tool has no value if you don't get it back. Think of magazines. In your house, there's probably magazines, brochures sitting there. There are DVD players. There are books there left there unread, right? They're collecting dust. So if you just give your prospect the tool, don't think they're going to look at it. There's probably chances are they're not going to look at it. They're not going to spend the time. They're just going to put it in the coffee table or on the shelf. They're just going to collect dust. You need to get it back. So what you're going to do is just say you call your prospect back. Say they're going to look at it over the weekend. I'm going to get it back on Monday. I'm going to call them back on Sunday night. Hey, so I'm going to say to them, whether you look at it or not, I definitely need that magazine back because I have others that plan to watch it. All right? So I need that back. Can you bring it back tomorrow? You have to get the tool back. Now, even if they don't look at the magazine or the tool, it's okay because you know what? When they give it back to me, number one, I'll tell you, most of them will watch it because there's urgency. We'll take a look at it. Number two, you know what's going to happen? Even if they don't look at that tool, you know what they're going to think? They'll be, oh, what's on that magazine? What's on that DVD that's so much? What's on that book that Simon wants it back so much? They start becoming curious about it. And even if they don't look at it, the next time I approach them, they will look at it again. If they're really, legitimately, quote unquote, busy, even though we know no one's ever really busy for the business, right? But even if they were really, really busy, they couldn't have something, family emergency came up, they will want to look at that tool later on. So it's really important. You must get your tools back. Okay, even if you didn't look at it, you gotta get it back, right? And even if they want interested, here's a tip. It's $1 million tip. Even if they say, oh, Simon, please give me one more day. I really want it back. Get it back from them. Say, hey, once I talk to John and Mary, after they've gone through it, maybe I have an extra one, I can give it back to you. I'm telling you, this will create scarcity, and they'll be like, what the heck is that? It will create urgency as well. And most of the time, trust me, they will look at it. Or they will want to look at it the next time you give it to them. Right? So just think about it. It's really, really important. Most people don't do this. This creates urgency and scarcity. Right? When things are scarce, limited, people take action. All right? So if a prospect ever wonders why you're so cheap and need a magazine back, just let them know it's your only copy, if that's true, or that's your lucky magazine, or whatever. Come up with something. I used to say it's very popular. It's the only one I have left right now, or it's my lucky one. I like it. I have this way back. Just let them know so they know. But if you have posture, and again, not the specific what you say, it's how you say it. So we need this back. A lot of people are looking at the business, so I need this tool back. And by the way, if you're doing the routine 553, you will have tons of people that you need to give that tool out to, all right? So you wouldn't be lying anyway. So let's talk about the mindset of the follow-up. Your mindset attitude. And it's a happy phase. You're happy, right? First of all, just be happy. And there's no excuses. Just do it. If you ever think about you got to follow up with someone, here's a tip. Without less than 3 seconds, just go and follow up and call that person. All right? Just quickly. Yeah, another thing is get yourself to a happy and good mood. Why? Because it's a law of attraction. If you're not excited and happy, people can tell. Even on the phone call, people can tell. You want to be the person that people want to join. And one of the things I love to do is visualize your success. Visualize someone picking up the phone and want to join. Most distributors, they fail because they're thinking, oh, the person does not want to join. Oh, I'm getting nervous. They're thinking negative. Instead, think positive. Visualize your success. And why should you be happy? Because you have to understand people want to buy. Prospects are always looking to buy or join something, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have looked at your information. And the better you feel about yourself, the more prospects will become attracted to you. Which actually reminds me, let me ask you this. When is the best time to make a sale? When's the best time to prospect? The best time to make a sale and prospect is immediately after you signed up someone or got a customer. Why? Because you're feeling good. You feel invincible, right? You feel awesome. That's what the mindset's very important. When you feel good, you do good. And all of a sudden, so this is the opposite of fear. When you feel good, you're confident. People are always buying you. Remember, they're buying your confidence. So the summary is the better you feel, the better you do. So always put yourself in a happy mood. So for me, before I prospect, I'll visualize my success. I may do some push-ups. I like exercising. Like exercising, running makes me feel good. Exercise, push-ups, anything to get myself to a better mood, right? And prospects hear that excitement. You probably have heard of the saying, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice, right? Get yourself excited because people want to buy a confident person. Now, how do you deal with fear? The fear of rejection. Okay, the number one reason why people do not follow up is fear of rejection. Now, if I told you that 10 people have confirmed they will buy, you would call them ASAP, right? Like, even if you're listening to this training right now, watching this, if I told you you have 10 people, 10 of your friends, 100% going to be a customer or join the business, but you have only the next 30 minutes to get them in, what would you do? You immediately pause or stop watching this video, stop listening to me, immediately call them, right? Now, the reason why you don't call your follow-up with your prospects is you feel that they're not going to join. You're thinking the negative already. Really, think about that hard for a second. If every one of your prospects, just say 10 prospects right now that you know you need to follow up with, said 100%, I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to join, but you must call me in the next 30 minutes. Every one of you right now will stop what you're doing, pause this tape, pause this video, immediately go call that person and sign them up, correct? So know that is the fear of rejection. And how do you get fear? Is really, what is fear? Fear is false expectations appearing real. Again, you are prospecting in the past. You're thinking because the last 10 people said no to you, this person will say no to you as well, right? Visualize your success. Assume, and we're going to talk more about this when we're going to talk about closing. Assume they want to join. So here, what are some different forms of rejection and fears? Okay, you're afraid of unreturned phone calls, texts, or emails, and then you're afraid of the weird feeling of the next encounter, just because like they don't call you back or they don't text you or email you back. You're afraid to bump into them again. You may even avoid that person, right? Or you have a fear of losing friends, like it's going to be awkward. Why are this awkward? You're not awkward. If you really believe in this business and you really believe in your products, you should be helping people. You're not bothering them. You're helping them. Right? If you're listening to this, I'm sure you have a bigger vision. Not just about make money, but to maybe benefit and change the world, help the world. You have a bigger vision. And you can never accomplish that if you don't go out there and follow up and share what your business and products are. Now, they may say no to you, but it's okay. But you have to follow up with them. And you have to understand, if you do this business the right way, you gain way more friends than lose friends. Okay, you're going to gain way more friends than lose friends. So, have you ever had a prospect that disappeared on you? right? These are frustrating. Like they don't return your phone calls, you don't return your texts, they don't return your emails. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to teach you something real quick. It's very effective. So how to follow up with prospects that avoid you. So why do they avoid you? Okay, you have to understand the reason they're avoiding you is, number one, they feel they're not interested, but they feel bad to tell you no. Right, and this is common. We've all had situations where we don't want to buy, but we're afraid to hurt someone's feelings, and we just say no, right? And when we avoid them because you want to say no. Another reason is because your friend is afraid that if they get you on the phone with you, text, you're going to try to convince them and nag them to death. So don't do that, right? Don't nag them, convince them, because that's what they're afraid of. So that's why they're avoiding you. But I'll tell you, it's so important to reconnect with these friends because remember, there's never a bad prospect, just the wrong time for the right prospect, right? Also, so your prospect who's not going to join, chances are they may buy or join later on or give you referrals. And number 3 is always end on a relationship on a good note. You always want to end on a good note. Remember, good closure, because that sets up for future follow-ups and future sales, future referrals. So you have to end on a good note. Never, don't burn your bridges. If you have a prospect that doesn't call you back, that relationship's burned, right? You never want to do that. You always want to end an interaction, a relationship on a good note. So here's a script you can say, all right? You could do this after 1 or unreturned phone calls and messages. You say, John, it's just my friend is John. John, just want to let you know that I value our friendship and relationship more than anything. And I don't want that this business opportunity that I presented to you affect our relationship in any way. If you're not interested or don't want to buy the products, don't worry about it. Just let me know straight up, and I appreciate honesty, and I'll never bring it up again. I don't want this to ruin our great friendship. Our relationship means way more to me than this business. So this is what you say. Say my prospect is John. John, just wanted to let you know that I value our friendship and relationship more than anything. And I don't want to let this business opportunity that I presented to you affect our relationship in any way. If you're not interested or don't want to buy the products, don't worry about it. Just let me know straight up, and I appreciate honesty, and I promise I'll never bring it up again. I don't want to ruin our great friendship. Okay, our relationship means way more to me than this business. Right? That is the golden key script. Practice that. Now, here's the main points to emphasize. And again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But you got to hit these couple points, okay? So you don't need to worry about the exact words, but remember the exact points. Number 1, and you have to say this confidently, you have to emphasize that the relationship means more than anything. Okay, that's very important. Number 2, you don't want the business to affect the relationship. So just because they don't join, you don't want to hurt the friendship. And it's okay for your prospect to not be interested. Tell them. You want them to tell you a yes or no. Right? You got to get the yes or no out. Because I'm telling you, the yeses are great, the nos are great, they're okay, but the maybes or you never hear from, those will kill your business. Because not only will you suck up your time, it's going to mentally drain you. And if you've had prospects that kind of disappeared, you know what I'm talking about. Right? You got to get a yes or no out of them. Number 4 is you want to promise you never bring up the business to them again. And that's important because then they'll feel relieved that they can talk to you and be friends. Again, you never want to burn that bridge. You want to end on good closure. And then 5, can we still get together and just be friends? Super important. So I'm going to repeat this again. Number 1, the relationship means more than anything. Number 2, you don't want the business to affect the relationship. Number 3, it's okay for the prospects to say no. And you want them to tell you a yes or no, but never a maybe or disappear. Number 4, you promise you never bring up the business to them again. And number 5, can you still get together and just be friends? Okay, practice that script. I want you now, but when we end this module, think of all the people that kind of avoided you. And I want you to follow up with them and say the script. Rekindle, build that relationship. Okay, you never want to end a relationship on a negative note and burn that bridge. Always have good closure. Now, last thing before we finish this part is how often should you follow up? Okay, obviously, if you present it to someone, you can follow up with them within 1 or 2 days. You can nail that specific date and time. But also, for those who are not interested in the business, Remember, the business gets easier every 6 months because prospects are in transition. And the best prospects are ones that are in transition. They're, for example, a job, they're moving between jobs, they're sick of the job, they hate the jobs, they relocated, they just got married, they need more money now because they need to buy a house, or they just had kids and now they hate going to the jobs and leaving the kids. The best prospects are ones that are in transition. So every 6 months, the reason the business gets easier, you're going to be more experienced, and someone will not be happy with their current situation. Right, so that ends up this part. But before we move on, I want you to make a list of 10 people that kind of disappeared on you. They didn't give you a yes, they didn't give you no, and I want you to use that script I just gave you, right, and follow up with them. Again, there's 5 parts. The main points: relationship means more than anything. Number 2, you don't want the business to affect the relationship. Number 3, it's okay for the prospect to not be interested. Number 4, you promise you never bring up the business to them again. And number 5, can you still get together and just be friends? Make a list of 10 people, and I want you to call them right away using that script.